Hey everyone, so one of the great things that you can do in VR is having the ability to interact with others in an experience. Honestly, I think for me, it changes the game if it has multiplayer mode. In fact, I tend to lean towards those type of VR games, so I'm definitely looking forward with some of the games that are coming out. And there's something interesting that's going on with Rec Room. Players can now actually earn real money in Rec Room. So let's get into it. So there's been a lot of hype around this VR game, Zenith. It's actually a massive multiplayer online role-playing game developed by a small studio, Ramen VR. The game will be available on PC VR, Oculus platform, and surprisingly, it was recently announced it will be available for PlayStation VR. That's definitely a good sign, being as how this game has so much potential. Now, if you haven't heard about this game, here's a quick background. It's actually an action-adventure game. As you can see from the trailer, it's a colorful open world with a hyper-futuristic city of Zenith. You can do things like climb, glide, perform magic, sword combat. They describe the combat as only possible in virtual reality, where you can launch the perfect combination of attacks, blocks, and spells while fighting a variety of powerful enemies. They also spoke how social experience is especially important to us as developers because we believe that online games can empower people and build relationships as strong as real life. So I definitely agree with that statement. I think bringing a social element to the game is what creates a stronger bond to the experience or to the game. Now, if you play Orbis VR, which is another multiplayer game, you'll notice graphically this game actually looks better. And I'm not just looking at the trailer, because many of us know the trailer don't usually look like the game. They've already shown some footage from the game that looks very close to the trailer, but that's not the most important thing in VR, where it has to look hyper realistic before we can be immersed. You've probably already seen enough VR fail videos where people are running into walls or cracking a TV, where VR just takes over your brain just enough where it convinces the person that things around them in VR world could be real. Now, they have begun taking pre-orders of the game starting this week, March 10th. So if you're part of the Kickstarters or founders, you have access to alpha and the beta versions. And if you purchased a pre-order, depending on the tier you bought, like the deluxe version will get you access to the early bird alpha and beta, but it is limited, or access to the second alpha and beta, which costs $39.99 US. And then if you purchase the collector's edition, which is $59.99 US, you get access to both the early bird and second alpha and beta versions. And here are the release dates of when the early bird alpha and second alpha will run. So the game will be expected to ship by late 2021. Another VR multiplayer game that is coming out sometime in 2021 is a tabletop style type of game called Demeo by Resolution Games.
In the necropolis, the mighty guardian stood ready. Songs would be written about her, legends be told.
Now, it's actually a multiplayer co-op game that supports up to 4 players. If you played Dungeons and Dragons, this will definitely be familiar, but it's in VR where you can play this fantasy adventure game. Now, since COVID-19 has limited people gathering together, Demeo has given us a way where we can get together with family or friends and take part of an engaging storytelling experience. So we as the player will be in the world of Demeo, where we need to fight evil forces threatening our existence through the use of special ability cards to attack. So this whole game is designed to have players work together, where you have to stop whatever you come across your journey. As you can see in the trailer, it has all the standard tabletop game elements such as the virtual cards, the miniatures, the dice rolling. I think one of the best thing about this game, besides being social, is the ability for us to actually see the spells being animated right in front of us when performing an attack, where it makes the game a lot more engaging. So again, Demeo is going to be released sometime this year for the Oculus Quest and PC VR, but it's also set to be released on a flat screen through Steam that allows cross-platform play between PC and VR. The next one is one of the more anticipated games for 2021. After the Fall is a zombie VR shooter game by a studio called Vertical Games. They are the same developers behind Arizona Sunshine. It's a co-op shooter game. Now, the backdrop of the game is a post-apocalyptic ice-covered ruins of LA, where the players have to fight a mutated monster called Snowbreed in order to survive. It's actually 20 years after the apocalypse.
Then hell froze over. They're calling this the New Ice Age. Been 20 years.
So the story of the game is there was a outbreak in the city because of a drug that somehow made these snowbreeds or mutants, and it started spreading and infected the entire city. But of course, you and your friends have not been infected because you guys are immune to the side effects of the drug. So the whole goal is basically get control of the city because you and your team are the last hope. Now this game will be a cross-platform multiplayer experience for up to 4 players, so if there's not enough players, AI players will be dropped in. Now I have talked about this game before, and I mentioned the game was delayed because of the COVID-19 situation, and during those difficult months the studio has mentioned they face several challenges that require more time, and it will be releasing sometime in 2021, but now they have mentioned more specifically they will be releasing the game in the summer of 2021 for PSVR and PC VR, but currently it's not available on the Quest natively. So I'm looking forward teaming up with friends, but you can go solo in the game as well, but to me that changes the game a bit because you can't interact with others. But certainly that's my own opinion. Some people do like solo mode and it may work for them. So I'm going to quickly talk about an update with the game Population 1. If you've been playing this game, most of you all know the game got launched last year of 2020. And they did have a mode called War Mode where you have 2 teams of 9 players in a head-to-head deathmatch. So under War Mode, when you launch from your starting point in the map, there's not too much distance between the team. But now they introduced Super Advanced War Mode where now the team is launching from the opposite side of the map, giving more distance to the players, which gives more time for other players to collect health items or weapons before battling it out. So this mode recently got introduced this week on March 12th and will go alongside with Season 1 updates with the new weapons like the swords and the LMG. And by the way, here's a list of all the additional changes starting March 11th. So I thought this was pretty interesting news. Rec Room just created a virtual economy where you actually earn real money by creating content within their game. And they recently informed creators of how to make real money from exchanging tokens. It was mentioned creators can earn these tokens by selling premium inventions and keys with their Rec Room Plus membership. Now, for those who are not familiar with this, inventions are like things like costume, furniture, weapons, different skins for private dorm rooms, and keys are used to unlock several items at a time or experiences in rooms. So back in September of 2020, they were trying to figure out a way for players to make real money in exchange for making content in the game. So before, premium players could sell their creations or digital assets for exchange for in-game tokens. Now, these creations can be created in Rec Room with an object called Maker Pen. So some of the items can be purchased through tokens for as little as 100 tokens to all the way up to 10,000 tokens. But now the creators can actually exchange these tokens for real cash. Plus, Rec Room has reported there has been over 1 million monthly VR users, and this can perhaps bring even more users into Rec Room. Now, you can earn tokens through playing paintball and other mini games, but unfortunately, those cannot be exchanged for real money. So the eligible tokens that can be exchanged for real money is selling your inventions and keys. Right now, according to the post, the exchange rate is 0.0004 per token or $400 for 1 million tokens, and you can exchange up to 25 million tokens once each month, which means $10,000 per month. But there are other requirements to be eligible for this, like your account needs to be at least 30 days old, it's not a junior account, verified email address, you haven't been banned in the last 90 days. So this is all listed on the post. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. So I'm going to be carefully watching this. I just find it interesting how much Rec Room has grown. Also, they have mentioned their goal is to pay out at least $1 million to creators in 2021, and they will continue developing new ways for creators to earn tokens. Now, there are tutorials that they provide of how to make inventions and details of how the compensation program works. Again, I'll leave all the links in the description. I actually think this adds another interesting layer to VR to have this mini real-world economy. Some people see VR just as entertainment. The perception could change if people start to earn income in these spaces. We still have a long way to go, but these virtual worlds could be seen more of an extension to the real world, where maybe some days some of us can go to work in these worlds. So anyways, let me know what you all think about Rec Room and some of the multiplayer games that are coming out. As always, if you liked the video, press the like button and consider subscribing. Talk to y'all later.